All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Everybody shut the fuck up. I'm live now. Please and thank you. Yes, I'm late. I get it. Oh my God, it's only been 7 minutes, okay? I'm just fashionably late. So right now, I just want to get on live and I want to talk about a lot of different and plethora of subjects. I wanted to get a lot of you guys' feedback, take. A lot of you guys also wanted me to give my immediate thoughts about Nicki Minaj on her spiritual journey all of a sudden. Um, Now this might sound kind of fucked up to y'all, but I don't always trust people that come out of nowhere being super hyper religious out of nowhere. That is no disrespect, but whenever I meet someone that's super hyper religious out of nowhere, I automatically think, oh, you must have done some fucked up shit. And you definitely are wearing a beard. Now, again, it's no disrespect. Again, like I get it. Some people are on different paths and this affects people differently. But every time I see people come out of the gate being super spiritual and super this, super that, and talking more, like again, like I get it. People can be saved. People can have different perspectives and go through shit. But I always know what's up. Hey guys, I see you guys in here too. I'm gonna read some of you guys' comments and then we're gonna get right into it. So first off, some of you guys are asking me where you at right now. I'm in Brazil. I'm actually a little bit frustrated right now because a lot of things are closed, unfortunately. So like I wanted to like go get like a little haircut or something. And I can't even do that because as I was like about to open the damn door to the barber shop, the barber in there sitting in this chair like this, chilling, watching the fucking football game. And I'm like, hey, and he's like they literally shut down restaurants. Sometimes they'll literally cancel school out here in Brazil. Sometimes they'll out here and like they'll literally shut down restaurants in the middle of operating. Some people don't come to work. A lot of things are understaffed. The only things that are open are usually the airport and maybe a couple bars so people can sit down and watch the game. But they treat football here, soccer in general, like a damn religion. Speaking of religion, we'll get back to Nicki Minaj in a little bit. Somebody said Cardi B used voodoo to destiny swapped with her. So I hear this theory a lot about the whole destiny swapping thing. I'm gonna actually play this for y'all real quick because this person brought up a very fair point. Not a fair point, right? Because I have my conflictions about it, right? I'm gonna be real with you. So Cardi B is, I believe, I think she's in IFA or some shit like that. Like not IFA, she's in something else. I think it's Santaria or something. She's in something, but she definitely works with the Orishas. If you've never watched my video before where I talked about, people in the music industry being witches and shit like that, please watch that because a lot of times you guys can be listening to music and you never know that a lot of it is casting spells and manifesting a lot of energy into your life. And we all know this already. Like sometimes people implant things into your head. And a lot of times you may sit up here and be like, oh, well, that only works if you're stupid and simple minded. Like I listen to music, I listen to whole shit all the time. Like I remember I did that video. Somebody was like, well, I listen to OGZ and all these rappers who talk about all types of killing and sexual things. And I'm fine. I work as an accountant. Good for you, Barbara. Good for you, Todd. Good for you, Billy. That's amazing. But what some people don't realize about the music industry, there's a lot of things such as backmasking. So I'm sure most of you guys have heard of it, and I covered this in my video. But a good example is, remember my video where, if you didn't watch it, I did a video talking about how if you listen to Beyonce's Single Ladies and a bunch of other songs in the industry from the 2000s and 90s, you can hear like little subliminal messages. So let me play this clip for you guys really quickly. So if you play Beyonce's Single Ladies played backwards, you'll hear certain things. And I'm going somewhere with this, okay? So just bear with me. If you play not Nicki Minaj, Beyonce's Single Ladies played backwards, here we go. So here it comes. For a long time. Oh, hold on. Hold on. So somebody thought back then, I remember this was back in the early conspiracy days of YouTube. I'll never forget that. But I'll never forget where somebody edited Beyonce's Single Ladies videos way back in the day. And if you listen closely to the verse where she starts saying to heal, to breathe, is infinity and beyond, you can hear the lyrics of this part. Right. if you listen closely, she says, "The world will worship me. People's tears will fall." And this kind of like leads into what I'm talking about and why I wanted to bring up Nicki Minaj for a quick second. Let's play that again. The world will worship me. So come on now, like we can't really sit up here and say things like that are just a brief random coincidence where you're listening to a random hit record, which by the way, this is Beyonce's biggest song, for sure her biggest song, and Halo, but that's her biggest song that most people know. You can't hear stuff like that in music and little subliminals being dropped in, and then you play a song backwards and it's the world to worship me, people's tears. Like, you kidding me? Like, that's something that's obviously intentionally thrown in there. And a lot of times these engineers, they're like scientists. Like, they know how to, manipulate frequencies, lower the frequencies, up the octaves, like make people feel a certain way and feel certain things. Kind of like when you go to the gym and you feel more amped up when you listen to certain songs, or when you're in the shower and you're just looking for a certain song to like really get you in the mood. Hell, there's some people watch this right now where some of y'all won't even wash your fucking ass unless you find the right song to play while you're taking a shower. Hell, I'm one of those people. If I don't find a good song, sometimes I will not take a shower. Like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, like this is gonna sound kind of fucked up, but I'll sometimes turn on the water to encourage myself to hurry up and get in. But then I'll be shifting and shifting through and be like, no, I don't want to bathe to that. No, I don't want to bathe to that. No, I want to bathe to that. And it's a shame because we have all these songs in our library that a lot of us skip for certain reasons. Like, you'll be in a car and you'll be like, nah, skip that, get rid of that. But anyways, let me get right to the point because some of y'all are asking, like, what was the point of putting Nicki in the title? Why did I bring her up? So Nicki's been on this weird verge of her spiritual journey. She's been very obsessed lately with talking about God, which is cool. Some people are really tied to their religion. But I did find it funny how it kind of came out of nowhere. Like, she's always talked about being religious and grown up in a traditional household, but something just kind of like gives all of us like a weird feeling that Nicki Minaj is kind of like seeking some form of like protection from something. Like, for example, like even when a lot of people saw her current husband, Kenneth Petty, some people are still really shocked that she decided to settle for someone like Kenneth Petty, only because, I mean, the dude has a crazy rap sheet. He has like 50 million mugshots. So sometimes people look at Nicki Minaj and they think to herself, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you be with somebody who has a crazy rap sheet and not think about your image in the long haul? Well, she doesn't care specifically because this guy looks scary as fuck. He's a tough dude, and there's been rumors of him being affiliated with a lot of people in the streets. So when you hear stuff like this and you see stuff like this tells me that Nicki Minaj seeks protection and a bunch more other stuff. I also heard really crazy rumors of people saying that there was a point in time where Nicki Minaj had her entire home ransacked, and people were saying that her kid was also in the house. This is just rumors. I don't know if any of this is even confirmed. That Nicki Minaj's house got ransacked, and then a bunch of like feds came in looking for stuff, surfing through stuff, searching for shit, and that's when Nicki Minaj went on her whole tirade, where she went on and on about Trump and her obsession with Donald Trump. And then, of course, it birthed this infamous clip that most of us already know. I'm sorry.
Dear young men, you have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president. And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president.
So there's a lot of things that she obviously doesn't talk about and she doesn't mention. She has it out for Jay-Z very much because she said in the interview that there's people in the industry. Let me find this clip really quickly so I can show you guys. She claims that she's gotten to a point in her life in the industry where she's realized, what the fuck is going on? What the hell did I sign up for? And she claims it's because she said no to a lot of very powerful people. But sometimes I think to myself when I hear this, I'm like, how did Nicki Minaj saying no and saying fuck off to a lot of powerful people work against her when she's one of the most powerful, most influential people in music? But then she said this. Nicki Minaj said in her interview with this dude, well, there's certain people that won't work with you or will pull the plug on certain things if you piss off so and so who knows so and so who knows so and so. That's how intertwined and interconnected people are in the industry. Sometimes you think you're powerful, you think you're powerful, you think you have influence until you realize you don't because you pissed off the middleman. Which in my head, I hate to say it like this. In my head, that can be a very powerful guy in a suit who you wouldn't even know is a powerful figure in the music industry. You could just be walking down the street in the middle of New York City, and it could be some powerful guy with devil horns under his hat. And he could be that powerful guy that Nicki Minaj probably pissed off. And if you piss certain people off, they will do certain things to make sure nobody ever fucking hears or sees from you ever again. Um, I noticed that she's been on this weird like journey. Let me find this clip really quickly. This is the best way I can probably explain it.
Definitely as a whole, just a broad statement.
So, I know some of y'all just like, why not put it on the screen? Listen, I'm not like a lot of you young people. Look at me. I don't know how the fuck a lot of people are doing like screen thing. When I try to do it through my software, it like lags and glitches a lot. But anyways, so she's been on this weird like religious tirade, this religious rant, which don't get me wrong, be close to your religion. But I feel like there's something deeper going on than just her being religious out of nowhere. I think she's looking for some spiritual protection. And people keep mentioning the Cardi B. So the thing is, I'm sorry, I have to mention this really quickly. Santeria and voodoo and all those things are not evil. Like magic and witchcraft, a lot of that stuff is not evil. Don't get me wrong, okay? Like I know some of y'all are gonna be like, I gotta unsubscribe because some of y'all didn't listen. Some of it is evil as fuck. Yeah, it is. Some of it is because some people use it for evil. Like for example, like when you, because a lot of you keep saying, but what about Cardi B? Cardi B did voodoo and shit like that. Because Nicki Minaj put out the rumor that Cardi B did voodoo with one of her older relatives. And basically Nicki put that out, and people automatically thought it was Cardi B because people saw photos and videos of Cardi B and shit like that having altars in the background. And Cardi B has always said that she's only into God and she don't do that kind of weird stuff. But it's interesting because Cardi B definitely does do a lot of the, spiritual practices. She definitely works with other entities, which are known to be deities like the Orishas. Like, for example, like you guys see a lot of symbolism in people's music videos, such as Beyonce and even Summer Walker or even Kalani, where they'll wear like gold attire and take photos and shit. I'll never forget. People obviously miss this a lot. But I remember when Kalani had that big ass beautiful cake. Hold on. Kalani had this cake because she gave an offering to an entity she works with. I think it's Oshun. Let me find it. But basically, yeah, a lot of this stuff is not as evil as y'all think it is. Some of it is like rooted in African spirituality. Let me find it. So basically, when you work with some of these entities, a lot of times you have to like light candles, speak to them, and give them offerings. So that can be things such as like gold earrings. It could be things like food, like a bowl of corn, a bowl of beans. And some people have altars in their apartments. And let me tell you something. Do not touch those fucking altars. If you ever go to, and even sometimes in Los Angeles, this is a common thing where sometimes you'll walk outside of a restaurant, and some parts of New York City too, like where you'll see some restaurants where like the owner might be into like witchcraft and shit, or she might be into like things like Ifa or Santeria or voodoo. Don't touch those bowls where they have like a little money in it, because I know some people want to be slick and like want to touch stuff. Don't touch anything that has like a bowl of money in it, or like someone like put like ones on it and stuff, because a lot of times those are offerings to deities and saints and entities, and if you touch that shit, they will fuck with you. And I know it sounds crazy, but those offerings are things that people give to them because they want positive things like good health, blessings, protection, and a bunch of other shit like that. And some of it is problematic, but a lot of it is not evil. The reason why people think it's evil is because westernized society and religion has made voodoo, santeria, and witchcraft out to be evil, to demonize it. Like, it's cool for Halloween. Everybody want to be a fucking witch with a broomstick. But it's not cool when sometimes people of color do it. Like when witchcraft and voodoo and all those things start to be down with the swirl, all of a sudden it's not cool anymore. People look at it as demonic because people love. The fuck is that? Is that my fucking fridge? Oh, shit is so annoying. Hate those fridges. So basically like voodoo, witchcraft, and Santeria, like all that stuff is all fun and games to people. Like everybody thinks it's all cute and fun when they see it in Vampire Diaries. Like a lot of you guys will watch Vampire Diaries. Oh my, I'm sorry, that's my fucking stupid ass fridge. It keeps making that singing songy sound. I'm gonna unplug that shit. I'm sorry. Ugh, I fucking hate those fridges. Y'all know those fridges that be like, duh, 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 duh. Shut the fuck up. God, this is why I like my cheap ass white refrigerator sometimes. Anyways, people think stuff like that is evil, but it's all fun and games when we're watching your originals and the Vampire Diaries. I know some of y'all would say, oh, it's satanic, but some of y'all sit down and watch things like Halloween Town. Like, there's so many. I'm gonna unplug that fucking fridge. There's so many like references to like. There's so many references to like witchcraft and voodoo and shit like that, and some like references of like Hinduism and shit like that, like things that people perceive as evil. When you watch things like Halloween Town, like when I watch Halloween Town as an adult, I'm like, oh, see, Granny over here, the old bitch, she's over here saying some shit that is oftentimes talked about in voodoo and Santeria. Like sometimes, like if you really put enough energy towards something, you can really get what you want. And how you gotta like be careful the kind of words you use. Like some of that stuff is used in religion, but some of those values are found in voodoo and in Hinduism and in Santeria. And some of these are just religious, spiritual practices. And some of you guys are gonna be asking, how do you know this stuff isn't evil? Listen, some of it is problematic, but all of it isn't. It's just people sometimes use it for bad. Like basically, if you fuck with the wrong person and you piss her off and you got an ex that hates you, he or she will fuck around and take the condom and they'll be like, okay, well, I'm gonna take the condom that we just used and I'm gonna like take this to my granny who lives in Cuba so she can do some fucking santeria on you, or I'm gonna like take your hairbrush and take it to my auntie Cleo who lives in Louisiana, and I'm gonna ask her to do some root work on that ass. Now, I'm gonna be real. Sometimes people have like root work and magic and spiritual shit thrown on them. Let me give you guys some knowledge, okay? Like some of y'all are asking, like, how the fuck do you know this? Okay, so interesting fact about me, just to give y'all some reference. I am Haitian. My mom is from Haiti. My mother grew up doing some really interesting shit as a kid. She's mostly Christian now, from what I know. But I don't really talk to my mother as much, but she would deny it if you asked her. So my mother had like this weird thing where like sometimes she was always like creating offerings. Like I'll never forget where she bought like this straw bag because she was into voodoo and shit. My mother had a straw bag and she like had like a bunch of offerings in it. I think it was like elixir and oils, which was like an offering to spirits and deities. And then she had like little like bags of candy, like old little bags of candy, and she'd like throw it in. And each bag symbolized prosperity and generosity and shit like that. And I remember she told me one time when she like hung it up in her room, she was like, listen, kids, if you guys touch this, you're going to die. Don't touch this. And I was like, oh my God, I would never touch it. And then I remember I one time like did like a cartwheel on her bed, and then my foot touched it, and I was like, oh my God, my foot gonna fall off. I'm nervous as fuck. So stuff like that was instilled in me as a child. And my mom was very into things like voodoo, and she would deny that shit, right? Like again, like if my mom were to ever see this video, she probably won't. She don't watch my shit. But if my mother would ever see my content on the internet, she'd probably look at me and be like, you're lying. I never did that. That's not true. That's not true. Because I remember bringing it up like as I got older and was like, Mom, you don't remember when I was a kid, you used to do those kind of things? And she's like, no, I don't remember that stuff. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're I don't know what you're talking about. That's my mother. So she would gaslight it when I would bring it up years later. But I remember her doing certain things. I remember them having like rituals where they would all dress in white and they would all like sit in a circle and they would try to like channel ancestors, where they would like be like, they would like, they would like play music, and I think they would like beat on a drum or some stuff like that. And sometimes they would have like big bowls, like bowls of like mangoes and bowls of rice and shit like that. And then they would like sit in a circle, they would like chant things, and then they would try to communicate with, I assume would be ancestors and different deities that represent different things. And sometimes they would do it because they would want like knowledge. Like, look, you're my ancestor from this past. Like, give us knowledge. Like, how can I get this promotion? How can I get this? Like, is there anything I should be looking out for? Is there any illnesses? Those are little itty bitty things that people do sometimes when they sit in those circles. They try to channel those energies. And I have a cousin who's, I've never talked about her before. She's much older than me. Her name is Fadia. She's a mambo. She don't watch my stuff, but she's a mambo, which is a high voodoo priestess. And some of y'all are asking, like, why is this relevant? This is relevant because I remember Nicki Minaj did her song Ganja Burns, and she was like, they don't want to witch doctors to bury the Barbies. Something. I don't know. They don't want to witch doctors to da-da-da-da-da. And then I had to sage and find peace like Gandhi and a bunch of stuff. So she kind of like made it clear that she was on her spiritual journey because people were like doing spiritual attacks against her. And I'll talk more about that a little bit later because people keep bringing up Cardi B, like probably doing like spiritual shit on her and unleashing shit on her. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Cardi B was doing a little funny shit on her. Hence Nicki Minaj's rant. Like, remember when Nicki Minaj was like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you still can outsell me, and then your baby is ugly. That was probably Nicki Minaj reacting to a lot of the shit Cardi B might have been doing in the past. I don't know if it's true, but anyways, back to the point. So yeah, sometimes, I'm sorry, let me read this comment really quickly. I love this look on you, Choice. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thanks for the super chat. Lay Monique, I greatly appreciate you. Psychosis. So, okay, just real quick, I'm going to get back to the topic, but you're going to have to watch my video where I talked about Nicki Minaj. It was titled Nicki Minaj Was Right. And it was Cardi B exposed for doing voodoo, witchcraft, or whatever I titled it. It was clickbait kind of with the witchcraft thing because Cardi doesn't really do witchcraft. She does something else called Santeria, or I think she's in something. But Cardi B works with an entity called Ochosi. So Cardi B, I talked about all this in that video, but I'm going to show you guys a picture. So Cardi B works with Ochosi, which is a deity, like a warrior. So Cardi B works with a deity called Ochosi. And from y'all are asking, like, how do you know that? Watch my video, okay? Like, just watch my video about Nicki Minaj's fans expose Cardi B for doing witchcraft, blah, blah, blah. Just look that up on YouTube and you'll find it. So Cardi B one time posted this little entity on her story, and his name is Ochosi. Ochosi is a deity that represents, penmanship, being a warrior, and survival. And this is her entity they work with. So these entities, they choose you. They choose you. Like you don't choose one. You don't be like, oh, that one's cute. I like his colors. No. These deities, they choose you. They choose you because if you try to seek them out because you want some type of protection or you want like a spiritual blockage removed, they will seek you out. Somebody will initiate you in. And a lot of times, Cardi B can not oftentimes, but in some cases be seen wearing things like alekis. So alekis are these spiritual sacred beads, and Cardi B has been seen wearing them. Alekes, sorry for a lot of y'all who are Nigerian, because y'all love to correct me whenever I mispronounce it. Alekes are spiritual beads, and Cardi B was seen wearing them. And basically, alekes, you have to be initiated. Like, these aren't things that you just wear for play. Like, you have to be initiated to wear these kind of things because a lot of times people put like a lot of energy onto them. Like, sometimes they have to be soaked in things like river water. Like, sometimes people have to take, like, Cardi B's alekes were probably soaked in things like coconut water. And I talked about this in my video. You can watch it there. Sometimes these things were soaked in coconut water or in river water or in, cleansed water, like maybe some, and then after that they take the alekes that were soaked in coconut water or river water, they chant something over it, and then eventually they've been blessed, and then you put them on. And a lot of times there's rules to them. You can't wear them while having sex. They can never touch the ground. Oh my God, if you ever have some shit like that on, they always make it clear to never let somebody wear them and do not let them touch the ground and do not wear them doing sexual intimacy. So these are things that a lot of entertainers are oftentimes into. And I think that plays a big role in Nicki Minaj's like huge, massive rants about like being so into God and being super religious. Because I think she's at a point where some people got fed up with her shit. They're putting probably some root work on her. And I think she's looking for some type of like protection and some form of peace in a way. I think that's why she's like saying, fuck the whole industry. I voted for Trump. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say or think. So back to the point. I kind of like got a little bit sidetracked with this. So for those who just came in, thank you guys for coming in. Watch the playback. I talked about a lot of things. So boom, here's a fun story. My mom would deny it if my mother ever saw me say this, but my mother was into voodoo. A lot of my relatives were doing voodoo. Like they would, a lot of my relatives who live in the Caribbean, who are from Española, they would come in a circle and they would like chant things. And I remember there was this one thing that they did. They would try to channel ancestors and shit. And it was like interesting shit, which is another story for another day. But basically, where was I going with this? Okay. So when they would do these things and these rituals and stuff for like protection and peace and a bunch of other stuff, it was because sometimes they felt like they were being spiritually attacked. Like relatives felt like things were being put on them and attached to them, which goes back to what we were saying earlier. So what happened was, I'll never forget as a kid, my mom thought that she was being spiritually attacked. She thought that there was somebody coming for her. And she would always say this. She'd be like, I think somebody's coming for me. I think there's something out to get me. And she would oftentimes say, like, I think it's your dad. Like, I think your dad is out here talking to some of his relatives, and your dad is mad at me for taking you guys, moving you guys away and like holding him accountable and trying to put him on child support and a bunch of stuff. And I think before I dumped your dad, I think your dad had something, like your dad took something and he put it like underneath my pillow. And my mom used to always say to me when I was a child, if something happens to me, son, your dad did it. Crazy, right? She would tell me this at 6 years old, at 7 or 8. Your dad, and she was like, Choice, if something happens to me, it was your dad. It was your dad, and it was his sister. She did not like my dad's sister. She never. It was a sister-in-law beef kind of issue, but she was like, She was like, your dad, I think one day took something and he put it underneath my pillow, and then I think because my dad, I don't know my dad to be into any of that stuff. But this is my own claims. Like some of my relatives on both sides are into like root work. Like if basically it's kind of like this. Like if you, and I'm not gonna lie, even as a kid, mom would say certain things that would rub me the wrong way. My mom would tell me like, Choice, if somebody's ever bothering you, all you gotta do is let me know, and then I'll do what I gotta do and like call up your auntie or call up her to go do some little work for you. That's what she would say when I was a kid. She's like Christian now, I assume. But that's what she would say. And basically, there was this one instance where I'll never forget where she thought she was getting spiritually attacked. So she told me and my brother, she was like, hey, don't leave this house. Straight up, do not leave this house. I'm like, wait, what? She's like, if you leave this house, give me a second. She like got a cup of water and she like chanted like a prayer over it. Like a prayer of like, because fun fact, people don't know this, it ties into like with Cardi B and stuff. People keep thinking Cardi B was lying about like being into God. Two things can be true at once. You can be, some witches, do believe in God. Most of them don't, but some witches do. Some people who do Santeria and voodoo are still into God. Like two things can be true at once. You can still be into voodoo and still be a Catholic. You can still be into Santeria and still be into that. From my experience, from what I've seen from people that are actually in that life, this is just from what I've seen. You can still be into that from what I have seen other people do. So basically what had happened was this was my mom told me straight, don't leave this house. My mother got a cup of water and she threw like splashes of water like on the front door because I don't know why. Like she said a prayer, she took water, she just threw it there and I didn't know why. Then she looked at my brother and she said, okay, Choice, I need you to do this. I need you to get your clothes and I need you to wear them backwards. So I know it sounds really fucked up, but this actually happened to me when I was I want to say I was 9. When I was 9 years old, my mom said, put your clothes on and put it on backwards. So literally she made us wear our underwear backwards and she made us wear our school uniform backwards. So we literally had to wear a collared uniform shirt backwards. And that's like awkward. So like she has to get behind us and like button it and like our collars were backwards. And we were like, Mom, like why? Like they're gonna make fun of us at school. And she's like, they're not gonna know. Like just put on your hoodie. So my mom made us wear our hoodies on top of like our shirts that were backwards. I mean, our parents wear it backwards because they're not be fucking like insane. Like, so our parents were not backwards, but our college shirts were backwards for sure. Our underwear was backwards, and our undershirts, because we had like little t-shirts that we wore, like plain white t-shirts. She made us wear that shit backwards, and she told us when you wear it backwards, it spiritually protects you. That's the kind of stuff that she used to say. So again, like, it sounds insane, it sounds nuts, but because I had relatives from the Caribbean that were into that stuff, because my relatives, my mom's side, were into like that kind of stuff, and then my dad's family, apparently they were like into root work, like the kind of stuff you hear about in Louisiana and shit like that, like root work, other weird shit. But I mean, I don't know my dad's would be into any of that kind of stuff. I don't know. But my mom claims that she thinks that and she got into voodoo a lot, and a lot of these interesting things, because so for reference, I was baptized Christian. My mom is Christian since she was a little girl. But she got into that because she thought my dad was like genuinely trying to spiritually attack her. And she said, I think he put something under my pillow. When I was asleep, Choice, your dad might have put something under my pillow because there's like been a lot of weird shit happening. Then she told me this. She was like, and I think, Choice, your dad's sister might have put a powder on the floor. I'm sorry. This sounds so fucking insane. I can't even share this shit on the internet. My mom told me, I think your dad's sister put a powder on the floor and I stepped into it. And because I stepped into it, all of a sudden, my foot has been swollen all of a sudden. She says that all while eating fucking fried plantains every fucking week. Like, literally fucking deep frying plantains every week and making like deep fried chicken with a bunch of like Haitian seasoning and green Trini seasoning all over it. Anyways, so she was like, my feet is swelling. I don't know what's wrong with my foot. And I'm not gonna lie, her foot was swollen as fuck, and I didn't know why. But basically, her suspicions were this, and a lot of my relatives' suspicions were this. This is how I got. I'm explaining the story because you guys keep asking like, how do I be knowing a lot of this shit? My relatives assumed that my dad might have did some root work on my mother way back when I was a child because he wanted to make sure she always needed him. Weird shit. I know. I feel a little awkward and just feel a little weird thing through my body when I say that. But basically, yeah, so my mom's foot was swollen as fuck. Like, I'm talking about, like, sometimes she would call me or my brother and she'd be like, give me a massage. Like, my foot is hurt. I don't know what's wrong with my foot. Like, my foot is hurting. And like sometimes I would like massage her foot. It's gross. And I would sometimes see it and it was like squishy. Like, her foot, one of her foot was actually like swollen. Like, her foot would like be swollen to the point where she'd be like in a little bit of pain. And I just thought to myself, that's like mad weird. Why is your foot swollen? Like, why is there like the little heel part, like right above her heel, like on the like edge of her foot, on her shin, like it was like a swollen like squishiness, like almost like as if like there was just like running water there. I don't know what the fuck it was. But that's to give you guys some context about things. So yeah, growing up as a kid, when I was like 9, I had to wear my shirts backwards for like a whole week or two. And then she would always like, say a prayer over the water and like throw it at the front door. I assume that it was just whatever. If I were to ask her about it, she likes to like talk around it and like exaggerate about it, or just be like, oh, I don't know, son, I don't know. But she was into that stuff. So, anyways, back to the topic at hand. I'm sorry. Let me read some of y'all comments. Some of you guys keep commenting stuff. Yes, I'm in Brazil. For everyone that's asking, I'm currently in Brazil. Somebody said, it's not evil to you, LOL. Some people say the opposite. Everybody ignoring the fact she be around people that touch kids like my ass off. Yikes. A gun is a tool too. You can use it for good or evil. Interesting perspective. That is very true. You can use spiritual practices, yes, for evil, and you can use spiritual practices for good. That's a good way to describe it. Like spiritual practices like voodoo, magic, santeria, like a lot of those things can be used for good. So the reason why I feel like, so let me just play this clip really quickly of Nicki Minaj, and then I will also like read some of you guys' comments. And again, thanks for the super chat. I'm sorry if I missed you, but let me play some of these. So Nicki Minaj took some accountability because according to Nicki Minaj, she's kind of gone through this period where she kind of realizes, damn, okay, I do kind of contribute to like this ideology of having a big butt and looking perfect, because Nicki Minaj has the picture perfect image. Smooth, glamorous makeup, banging body, snatched waist, big boobs. She has what people perceive as the perfect body. Let me find it. Hold on, let me find this shit. So here we go. So boom. I'm gonna play this clip and read some of y'all comments.
Post selfies and post Instagram and post, the Photoshop era. What is that doing? And I guess I feel a sense of responsibility too a lot of the times, because a lot of the stuff that I was rapping about, I didn't, I was so young too. I didn't realize that there are young people listening to it and how it could probably make them make certain decisions that wasn't, really thought out. Now, if I could do it all over again, I would have changed a lot of things that I said, because I just don't like the idea of thinking that these people will now grow up wanting to change themselves as opposed to loving themselves, like as opposed to seeing how beautiful they are and realizing how much they have to offer the world just the way they are. That's what I think. That's what I think is very demonic about the industry as a whole, is that it makes people feel that they're never enough. And if you feel like you're never enough, how can you be happy? Yeah. There's in this world, post selfies and post Instagram and post, the Photoshop era. What is that doing?
And then I'll play the other clip.
Up in many aspects of your life. I mean, I got so many questions on this, but being just in general in the music scene for a second, do you think that the music scene as a whole, just a broad statement, do you think the music scene is very demonically organized? Is there a lot of crazy stuff that happens in there? Can you kind of tell me a little bit about that?
Well, it sure isn't driving people to God. It's, it definitely isn't making people want God more, because it focuses on the worship of material things. And we all play a part in it. I've played a part in it, of course. It's not healthy. Over time, it's not healthy mentally and for the soul, emotionally. I mean, look at all the young people right now that have to grow up in the Instagram era, where everyone is, editing and photoshopping, and everyone thinks the other person looks like that in real life. Yeah. And these children, I can't imagine. I always think about this. I say these kids are so strong, because I cannot imagine having to have dealt with this while I was growing up, and while you're changing, your body, your face, everything about you, and is changing, and then you have to constantly compare.
Up in many aspects of your life. I mean, I got so many questions on this, but being just in general in the
okay, I think you guys get the gist of it. I don't know if people like me playing clips so much, because sometimes when I do play clips, sometimes people just be like, "Okay, get to the point, get on with it." Okay. Someone said, "I know what you're talking about, Choice." So this person said, "Literally, my mom's family is Cuban and from Miami, and it's insane. I grew up with my grandma being a high priestess." See, the thing is, you don't want to listen. Cubans, no, they know. Like, Santeria is very popular amongst Cubans. Most Cubans, it's like 50-50. Like, many Cubans are real into, like, religion, Christianity, Catholicism, and then other Cubans are very much into Santeria. Hell, even Dominicans. Like, I know people are going to be like, wow, I didn't even know. Listen, Dominicans do that shit just as much as Haitians. They just don't talk about it as much. Everybody that's Dominican got a grandma or abuelita or auntie Esperanza that does a little thing or two, where if you piss off her granddaughter, she will find out your full name. She will write your full name in a jar, and then she'll leave it sitting there and do what she got to do. So let me read some of these questions really quickly. I'm sorry. Pardon me for a quick second for reading some of these, because some of you guys keep asking me things, and some of y'all think I'm ignoring the chat. Religious people are still sinners. God said put faith in no human being. You have to build your own relationship with him. That's scary as fuck. Oh, I was talking about with the root work that was being done. Drinking the blood of Jesus is not witchcraft. Because someone in the comments said that, we talk about religion and shit like that, but what about when Jesus drank the blood and something like that? So people sometimes will compare even the walking on water thing and be like, well, isn't that sorcery? Isn't that witchcraft? Okay. Someone said, wow, that's cool. Watching anime and learning about shrines and high priests has always intrigued me. Um, someone said, did your mom have gout? That's what it sounds like. Looking back, I'm like, my mom probably had the gout. My mom was eating fucking fried plantains and fucking fried pork chops every other fucking week. And she was like constantly like eating like little Caesars and shit like that and getting her a quick little chicken sandwich every now and then. I mean, she's not like fat as hell. She's not a big lady, but she liked her American fast food and she definitely loved to cook. So maybe, well, she wasn't the best cook, but she definitely loved to, eat fried food. She loved fucking fried food. Oh my God. And then it's always the parents that shit on you for being overweight, but yet they make the food that makes you overweight. Because she used to always make comments on me being overweight, as if she's not the one who's cooking the fucking food. Someone said religious people are so naive. It's like talking to a child. I'm gonna get back to the topic a little bit later. Just give me a second. Okay, so somebody earlier in the live said, I'm African. Even we Africans don't fuck with that. Even many of us Africans don't fuck with a lot of these spiritual practices that a lot of you people oftentimes talk about and practice and trying to keep alive, like these deities and entities. Okay, yeah, I hear that all the time. So Nigerians are usually some of the most religious people I've ever met in my life. Of all Africans, it's definitely Nigerians, Algerians, Moroccans, and I want to say, I mean, I'd probably give it to the Liberians too. But a lot of them tend to be super religious, and I see where she's coming from. Someone in the comments just basically said, why do we keep calling them African spirits, deities that we are trying to keep alive? We don't fuck with them. Okay, I get what you're saying. Honestly, I think we keep forgetting that Africa is such a big continent with so many different religions and cultures and accents and skin ranges and types that there could be a lot of things true at once. A lot of these religions that are commonly practiced in Africa, like Catholicism and Christianity and Islam, a lot of that stuff was brought to Africa by colonizers. Even the Arabs, like that colonized most of North Africa, they bought Islam there. So that's why I'm pretty open when it comes to people who are into Hinduism and spiritual. Let me see, Choice. I'm Guyanese and grew up hearing these things from my mom. It was exhausting. They believed that everyone was obeying them. Yikes. Or obeying them. Obeying. Okay, I see what you mean. I didn't realize this was live. I thought I was catching the playback. No, we're live. Thanks for coming. Yes, we are live. Oh my God, please like the live if you're in here. I would really appreciate that. Someone said, can you do a video on how to do what you do, make money while traveling, talk about our experiences? Honestly, I make YouTube videos. That's pretty self-explanatory. It has legs, if you know what I mean. Also, another thing that I would say is this is just find something. Also, I don't go to first world countries. Like, if you guys think I'm gonna go to like Paris and Germany and Italy, hell fucking no. Like, I'm not gonna lose my fucking mind over that shit. No, I'm not gonna go somewhere super fucking expensive and break the bank. Absolutely not. I go to cheap ass countries like Brazil where I can get a shot for 75 cents. That's where the fuck I'm gonna go. You will see me in France for one day, and after that, I'm going straight to Egypt, Morocco, or Turkey, where I can get an Uber for $4. Anyways, someone said there is no good in black magic, Choice. But what you don't understand is not everything is black magic. Some things are rooted in African spirituality. And black magic, honestly, that word is like black magic alone. Like, that sounds evil and problematic. Like, okay, yeah, black magic, that's problematic as fuck. But some people use things like magic and witchcraft for positive things. Like, some people use it to protect their children or to protect their house. Like, if they don't want their enemies coming inside their home, they'll do weird things where they'll get things like clover, and they'll get other things, lilies, lavenders, or whatever, and they'll spread it around their house or outside their apartment door. And stuff like that will be used sometimes to keep out negative energy or to reveal your enemies. Like, a common thing that's oftentimes done in Louisiana is brick dust. So if you watch the movie The Skeleton Key, they kind of talked about this. That's one of my favorite movies. But brick dust is oftentimes used to reveal your enemies. So basically, if you just get a brick, a normal traditional red brick, you would grate it and you would get the dust. You would put it like in front of your front door, or sometimes when you walk into certain holistic stores, they'll intentionally like put like a little net that releases brick dust immediately. Sometimes you don't notice it. but sometimes they'll put like little specks of like brick dust at the top, where you think that it's just like normal dust in the air or just like random little lint. No, baby, that's brick dust that they put in, so that with the minute you open that door, the door frame just releases just brick dust constantly coming down on you. And oftentimes people use things like brick dust at the front of their door or like at the frame of their door to reveal their enemies. The minute somebody crosses that path or the brick dust touches them, it reveals your enemies, like weirdly and gradually, and it makes them slip up. Like something reveals itself. That's the kind of stuff people are into, like table magic and sanctity, and those are just things that I have not personal experience in, but I've witnessed things from other relatives, and I've witnessed people do these kind of things. So I have a better understanding of it. And yeah, some of it is problematic as fuck. So let me give you guys more like game bot stuff. I didn't even show you guys the other picture. So Kalani is very into that kind of stuff, and I want to like kind of like elaborate on it. Kalani posted this on her Instagram. Let me try to find it. Let me see. Let's see. So Kalani built an altar. Oh my god. Did they scrub the shit off the internet? I'm trying to find it. Holy shit. Oh, boom. There we go. Yeah, they must have scrubbed it off the internet or something. Oh, no, I found it. So this is a good example. This is Kalani at her altar. I think she works with Oshun. I'm not sure who she works with, but it's just good examples. A lot of people that you are listening to are into this kind of stuff. So if you hold people accountable online for doing it, you kind of have to hold accountable your favorite artist as well. Here we go. Boom. Okay, I'm trying to find a good picture of it because it keeps being blocked. Okay, boom. Okay. So here's a photo of Kalani and her daughter, right? It got tons of likes on Instagram. People just assume that it's just a normal, regular ass photo, right? But what do y'all see in this photo? If you, boom, zoom out a little bit, you see Kalani has a cake right here. What is this cake? Well, it has yellow sunflowers on it, and the cake says Oshun. It says Oshun, who's a popular entity that oftentimes represents peace, fertility, openness, sensuality, womanhood, and protection. So this was an offering at Kalani's altar, because a lot of people who are into this kind of, they have altars where they give the deities and things that they serve, flowers and cakes and shit like that, and a bunch of other stuff. And Kalani's with her daughter right here. And the cake is an offering. And sometimes if you're creative with these offerings, these deities, some of you guys are asking, what's the point? What's the purpose? What's the point? Well, it's complicated. If you pour into these entities and these deities and these spirits that you work with, they'll pour into you heavily. So this is Kalani giving a cake. Someone just asked, what is that? Kalani gave a cake to the entity she works with. And when you give these spirits, these entities things, they'll pour into you. Let's say you're struggling with that promotion at your job, or you're struggling trying to find work. A lot of times these entities and these spirits will be like, ooh, oh my God, like Kalani just gave us a cake. Oh my God. Like, we got to make sure we bless her really quickly. And then before you know it, Kalani walks outside her door and she sees $100 just randomly blowing to her or some shit like that. Like I'm not saying that's how it'll happen, but it's just little stuff like that, where sometimes they'll remove the obstacles in your life, or they'll put like little pitfalls that pivot you in the proper direction. And it's deeper than just, oh, it's just deep. It's just demons. It's evil. These are African religions that have been around for years. I don't practice that shit, and I don't want to fuck with that shit because, again, I know how deep these things can get. I have a lot of interesting stories. Some things I don't think are safe for YouTube. Some things I don't mind sharing. But I'll never forget a story where, remember when I told you guys earlier, it was a bunch of my relatives from the islands coming together, and they were all coming together, and they were like all wearing like different colors and like white and shit. And they had like a bowl of mangoes, which was an offering to the deities. And then they had like a bowl of rice, I think, which was an offering to the deities. They also had a live chicken where they sacrificed it. So basically, I remember when I was a kid, I was like in my room we were living in my grandma's house because at the time my mom was like struggling financially and stuff. So we were living with my grandma with a bunch of my other relatives. And I'll never forget where they literally sacrificed a chicken. So this chicken was completely like alive, but it had broken legs. It's almost like somebody snapped its legs, and it was like literally like barking on the kitchen floor. I'm like, oh my god, why is there a live chicken here? Like I was just in shock as a kid, but they ended up killing it and sacrificing it, from what I perceive, because sometimes when you sacrifice an animal, it represents purity. Blood is like purity. So when you kill the animal, it's like an offering to the spirits and the saints and the deities that you work with. It's like okay, we just killed this chicken for you. Here's something fresh. Here's something new. Here's something that's completely like bought to you for you. And a lot of times they do this to gain trust. So here are things about my one of my cousins. One of my cousins was a high voodoo priestess. She was into some really interesting shit. I wouldn't want to fuck with her. Long story short, there's a lot of things that she does and she's into. Most of us just look at it as whatever. That's just her being her. She's always been that way. But no, she's really into that shit. And when you work with someone who's like a high voodoo, like a mambo, that's the word, mambo. So some relatives are advised to stay the fuck away from her, but other relatives are still cool with her. She's one of those relatives. Basically, there was a moment where, because she's a mambo, she sometimes recruits people into the religion, where like people will sometimes seek her and come to her for like guidance and help. Like, hey, this is happening. Hey, this is really fucked up. Like, I don't know why all these bad things keep happening. Or hey, like, ever since like I got with my ex, all these negative things keep happening. So she's kind of like a spiritual advisor. She'll give them guidance, and then also she speaks to entities. Sometimes they'll come to her in dreams, or sometimes she'll rest and nap and she'll hear their voices talking to her. It sounds crazy as fuck, but yeah, sometimes when you work with these entities, they'll talk to you. Like sometimes these voices in your head will speak to you and they'll give you wisdom and guidance. Like if you just focus hard enough, they'll speak to you. Sounds crazy as fuck, but that's why I don't fuck with it. But basically, when you bring people into some of these religions, and you bring people and you introduce them to new entities and be like, hey, I hear you're struggling with life and life got you down. Let me bring you here and let me help you find an entity that resonates with you so you can build an altar for them and they can pour into your livelihood. All you gotta do is just burn a candle for them, a pure white candle. It represents purity. Give them an offering every now and then, give them some gold coins, pour into them. Like give them cute little pictures of like Paris and London, give them like a bowl of beans, give them a bowl of lima beans, dry, give them a bowl of like mangoes and fruits and just let it sit there for like at least 2 weeks so they can just harness the energy of the fruit. And basically, when you sometimes bring people into these religions, their presence becomes stronger. It's kind of like a weird pyramid scheme in a little bit, but not really. It's like okay, I just bought you. Let's say I got you, right? I got you. Just an example. I bought you into it, and I just introduced you to an entity that is calling to you, that feels like that there's certain things in your life that are going downhill. Let me like connect you to them. Let me plug you in. Okay, they said this, they said that. Okay, create an altar. You want guidance? Okay, cool. Build an altar of them. Print out a photo, your favorite photo of them, and just pour into them. And then it goes like this. Their presence becomes stronger. Their network becomes stronger because, they're what people perceive it as is they align and connect and they work with your ancestors and they connect and they align. They work with you and through you to help guide you through the world. And that's the kind of things that you just grow up hearing as a kid. I'm not into that shit at all. Because again, I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna let people be Christians, be Catholics, play with whatever religions they want, have fun with that, believe in this, believe in that. I'll just be winking through the scope. I'll just literally watch from the microscope at a distance. I'm sorry, you guys keep asking me a few questions. Let me answer some of these real quick. So, give me a second. Okay. Let me see. Minaj is Brown nosing. I'm Somali, and literally the things I've learned about root work is crazy. Yeah, it gets real. Sometimes when you're working with root work, if somebody's pissing you off, listen, I feel like everybody from Louisiana could probably say this. Everybody from Louisiana know a person that knows a person that knows a person or got a relative that if somebody's bothering you, like an ex or a relative, you can put their name in a jar and they can do what they do. And the cards will align to make them get the fuck out of your way. Like a good example is Shara Seven. Like, for example, Shara Seven is a witch. Like a lot of you guys always say things like sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. Like you ever figure that maybe you're like chanting something? Like you guys don't realize it, but Shara Seven is a witch and people adore her. Like, of course, like she has two separate channels. So Shara Seven, the sprinkle sprinkle lady, she's very into witchcraft and holistic healing and shit. On her main channel, she's discussing things like relationship advice, topics, providers, how to level up in life. And then on her second channel, which is called Ashira Goddess, she talks about root work. She talks about her manifestation practices, her spiritual techniques, and a bunch of other things. And oftentimes, people sometimes miss it, but she always drops little references in her YouTube videos. And mostly it's because Shara Seven is not a religious person. She's not into God. She's more so into like the law of attraction. She's more so into casting spells. For example, like one person got on the internet and they said that they had a horrible coworker. They had a coworker that kept fucking with them, pissing them off, trying them, irritating them. Not a coworker, a manager. And basically, they hit up Shara Seven to do some root work for them. And then boom, a week or two later, that manager ended up getting transferred and ended up leaving after Shara Seven did the root work. And these are things that obviously could be a coincidence, but these are things that a lot of people believe that sometimes the perspective is this: religion is not enough, or what people call God isn't enough. So sometimes people dabble and dibble into other things and just like, okay, you know what? Religion and God is not working. So, it's working too slow. Let me try other things. Let me see if these other entities or these other deities that walk this earth and work with other people are willing to like do a little something for me. Because since my ex won't leave me the fuck alone, or my my child's father's new girlfriend keep trying to ruin my life, and I think she's doing shit to me. And then also, spiritually, a lot of people who do things like voodoo and witchcraft, they work with information. So the more information you give them, the more likely they're going to fuck you over. So if you feel like someone's doing some root work on you or has ever done some root work on you, stop giving them free information. When people ask you a question, sweetheart, you technically don't have to answer it if you don't want to. I'm just going to be honest. People sometimes forget that. So those are just good examples. Let me see. Santeria is Cuba's religion. There's a lot to be said for your frontal lobe development. I was a stripper in my 20s, and at 46, I wish I could protect all the young girls now. Wow. The strip club can be a very dark place sometimes because the sex work industry in general can be dark. I guess it can bring you to a lot of like dark places and dark realms. Let me see. I'm sorry. Someone said, not the fried plantains. I'm telling you, my mom was into fried plantains and shit, but she was wondering why her foot was swollen. Like, big mama, your foot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and she thought someone was doing root work, and maybe they were. I never know. I'm still not sure. I noticed back then a lot of Haitians would blame voodoo instead of accepting they have health issues and just go to the doctor. That's a good point. Because sometimes it is root work, and a lot of times it's just because you just need to go to the fucking doctor. Many Africans demonized magic because they were colonized and the holy wars were pushed upon them too, just like the world. Yikes. Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm happy you guys caught the live. Thank you. If you missed certain things, you're asking when I talk about so and so, just watch the playback. I'm still in the middle of discussing these things. I'm probably gonna get off of here because I have to actually go handle something. So I'm gonna be on here for a little bit longer though. But eventually I'm gonna leave a little early. Usually I'm on here for 2-3 hours, but I'm gonna leave a little bit early. Cover Taylor Swift's phony wedding. Italy is ghetto. My husband's Cuban and Italian, and he refuses to go back. Yeah, Italy is ghetto. Italy is actually one of the most affordable European countries you can go to compared to France and London and Ireland. If you want to go have fun, please go to Italy. It's not as expensive as it seems. You'll have a good time. And it depends on the city you're into, if I'm being honest. Let's see. Why is it called white magic, LOL? I think all magic is just the same. I think it's just honestly your intentions. I heard that in a movie, but it really is, it holds some truth to it. Like people would be like white magic, black magic. I feel like it's all the same. It just depends on the person. Africa should keep their spirituality. Indians don't throw away Hinduism. Yeah, someone said white folks call it black magic. Honestly, I feel like a lot of it is rooted in racism, why they call it black magic. Black magic is sick, like falsely leading people astray from the truth. We are magic, period. Somebody said drugs when I talked about my mother, like making me wear my clothes backwards. Yeah. Anyway, whoa, okay. I'm probably not going to read that one out loud. Yes, there's like over so many of y'all are in here. Can you guys like the fucking live? We just hit 1 hour in this bitch. Please like and thumbs up the live. I just gave y'all a little bit of like family tea because I'm not gonna lie, it was TMI for sure. I don't know. I don't really talk to a lot of my relatives at all. I feel like some of them will probably watch this and be a little bit annoyed. I don't know if they watch my shit at all or lurk, but I don't give a fuck. It's my channel, bitch. But some things I did have to share because I feel like it gives context. Someone said Africa would be great if we dropped Christianity and Islam. They don't encourage free thought. Oh my God, too many of them. Summer Walker, Solange, Azalea Banks, and much more into that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I did a whole video on this. Just look up my witchcraft video. Yeah, Beyonce talks about a deity that's responsible for her financial success all the time. Yeah, I'm not surprised. When I visited LA, you dropping a lot of gems, MJ the Gram. MJ the Gram said, when I visited LA, I live in LA by the way, I saw most people are doing magic. There were sigils everywhere. Yes, a lot of people are doing magic. You go to LA, you see it's common to see like altars. Sometimes in a lot of Asian places. Sometimes you go outside of places on Hollywood Boulevard. Some people got altars. A lot of people, a lot of like this. That's a big place for a lot of people who are into holistic healing and spirituality and witchcraft. Because LA is a very demonic place. Like, it's just a very not even demonic. LA has a heavy ass energy because there's a lot of evil going on in LA. It's still a normal city. It's not just me shitting on the whole city. Like I love LA because I live there. It's home. But in LA, you won't be able to survive, thrive, or get far unless you have some type of religious thing that you like go towards or resonate with or can connect with. She probably felt worshiping a deity helped Beyonce, so she thinks it'll help her career. Yikes. A lot of y'all do not like Cardi. Have you heard from Lovely T? What's up with her? Is she okay? I heard from Lovely T literally 2 months ago. And yeah, she was definitely in the hospital. That's all I'll say. I would definitely contact her and hit her up. You just reminding me. I'm gonna actually check in on her. Me and T are really cool. We're not like best friends. We talk to each other all the time. But I definitely talked to her 2 months ago via text. But yeah, she was in the hospital. She was going because, as you guys know, Lovely T has sickle cell anemia, which is really, really intense. Like sickle cell anemia is one of those illnesses where most people are born with it. If they have a parent that has the trait, they usually inherit it from them. It's common amongst a lot of like Hispanics and Black people, and it's not. It's one of those rare diseases that have never really like had a deep cure or like much investment into it. it's one of those illnesses where sometimes you'll wake up and you'll be like in excruciating pain. Like I'm talking about, it'll feel like there's a bunch of pins and needles being poked on your back multiple times, and then it's like sometimes piercing your organs. That's what it feels like, to describe it from what I've been told and what I've researched. But yeah, she's doing. I hope she's doing fine. I gotta check in on her. You know what's interesting is when it comes to I gotta check in on her. Sorry, that's my fucking fridge. My fridge keeps making that fucking singy songy noise. I hate when it does that shit. But yeah, I hope she's doing fine. I'll definitely have to check in on her. You just reminded me. Anyways, I believe a Haitian when they say they don't mess with that stuff. Yeah, most Haitians of this generation are very ignorant. I feel like a lot of that stuff, like the official religion in Haiti is voodoo. Like that's one of the only fucking like countries in the world that has made religion voodoo. That's the official religion that many people practice, and a lot of Haitians are against it. Hell, some Haitians that I've met are just like, no, 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 I don't play that shit. No, I hate when people say that. I done seen some things. I done seen both sides. I done seen my Christian side of the family, and I done seen my side of the family that does voodoo and shit. The side that they're like, if you say something or you do something to me, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I had an aunt that worked with these entities and these deities, and she would have voices in her head and shit like that. And they would talk to her. They would give her knowledge sometimes. They'd give her information and details and like what you should know, what you should avoid, like what's been going on, a bunch of stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, my aunt might have been fucking crazy. There was one point in time where I got into this issue with my sister because my brother's car keys were missing. Weird. My brother's car keys were missing, and my sister at the time had a habit of like taking his keys without fucking asking. My brother would wake up sometimes and he would see his car keys moved. My brother would go downstairs and he would see like his car parked in a weird position that he didn't park in. Little stupid weird shit like that. And basically, I'll never forget when my brother's keys were missing. We thought, oh my god, my sister probably fucking took them because we both didn't really fuck with my sister. I have a half sister. For those who don't know, if you want to know more interesting details about that, go watch a lot of my videos from 10 years ago. I had an older sister who's 10 years older than me, and she was a evil ass bitch. Did a lot of very awful things to me. Did a lot of awful things to me, my brother, mostly me, because I was very feisty and I used to go back and forth with her. We have different fathers. My mother has 3 baby daddies, and she had like different kids in each of these like relationships. She got married with one, and then she had like 2 other kids, a few other kids with like the other 2. So yeah, there's that. So me and my sister used to bump heads all the fucking time. She was the first person to ever call me a faggot in my entire life. I'll never forget when I was like 8 years old, my sister said, "You want to know something? You're supposed to be an abortion." Like I was already listening to mom's conversation with Aunt Vivian and Aunt Ketley, and they were talking about how they were gonna like literally abort you and everything. And I was 8 years old. And my sister was fucking how old? My sister was 17 years old. She told me that when she was 17 and I was 8, and I was supposed to be an abortion. And I didn't feel any way about it. I was like, because I'm 8. The fuck does an 8-year-old know about an abortion? And then my sister ended up explaining it to me that it's when, you have to like kill the baby before it goes full term. TMI for those who don't want to hear that shit, but that's what happened. Anyways, back to my sister. I'll never forget when my brother's car keys were missing. We're like, my sister probably had to like we flipped up and down. My brother's calling my mom saying, I think we'll call her Dadia. I think Dadia like took the shit. I think Dadia is this. I think Dadia did that. And then I'm over here just like, we're looking for the keys. We can't fucking find it. And then one day, eventually, after like an hour or 2 go by, my brother finds his keys. He finds his keys, and my mom ended up calling me saying, "You're fucked up. You're fucked up, Choice. You ain't shit for that." I'm like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, your aunt, she lit up a candle, and she was speaking to the entities, and they said that you had the keys." What? Apparently, the deities and the entities and spirits in my fucking aunt's head literally told my aunt that I'm the one that took the fucking keys. Are you out of your fucking mind? So yeah, that was it. And it's like, I remember my brother was pissed about his keys because my brother was driving when we were in high school. We were in high school way back in the day. My brother had a car. He drove. I used to just walk because I just like to walk. My brother used to like sleep in, but I used to like just walk to school or take the school bus. But basically, yeah, like my brother, And the finding his keys out of nowhere ended up like being underneath like the computer or whatever. It was underneath the computer. It was like beneath like the fucking comforters. But we ended up finding it. But according to the spirits in my aunt's head, because she was into that kind of stuff, I'm the one that took the keys, which to this day, I would love, now that I'm grown as fuck, to call my mother up and go the fuck off on her and be like, what the fuck were y'all thinking? Accusing me as a fucking child, as a teenager, for fucking taking my brother's car keys. And my sister and my mom had over here like being like, oh yeah, the spirits said this. The spirits are the ones that said you did it. What the fuck are you talking about? Anyways, and I remember my mom would say like a lot of other like little weird creepy stuff when I was a kid. When I was a child, my mom would say things and be like, oh my God, one day if you want, I'll take you to the motherland. I'll take you to the homeland, and I could take you to the spirits and shit. Like I could take you to like where a lot of them reside. And this is no disrespect to them, but she was like, I could take you where a lot of the entities reside and stuff like that. And you know, I'm like, okay, like I'd be interested. Like I'm actually curious about the culture and shit like that. But I remember her telling me like, oh, and you want to know something, son? The spirits and the entities, they hear what we're saying on the phone right now. Like everything you're saying right now, son, they hear it. They can hear you. Like they can hear it. And if you're coming, they know you're going to come. And then when they know you're going to come, they're going to send you like a dream and everything that you'll have. So yeah, well, that was my life. Anyways, Nicki's performative. Nicki Minaj changes her political views based on who's in office. Nicki isn't actually people forget. Choice, I want to be like you, traveling the world. Any advice on how to get there? Find a job that has legs. Basically, find a job that's remote, start a YouTube channel, or just save at least $5K and go to the cheapest country in the fucking world and just hop from there. If you could save at least, not 5K, if you could save 10K, go to the cheapest country in the world and try to live off of that. I promise you, with the way rent is going, if you live in America or if you live in London or any big fucking European city, with the way rent is looking, it'll probably be cheaper if you just picked up your whole life and moved to fucking China for a little bit. You'd be really surprised how far 10K will go. And if you stay like in hostels or you also rent out, for example, like sometimes people rent out like you can find a roommate on Airbnb on Vietnam. Like if you're looking for a nice apartment and you're willing to have a roommate or your own space, there's some nice places in Vietnam and the Philippines for like $400 a month, $500 a month, $600 a month. And that alone will last you like a whole fucking year. You know what I mean? Or you can like get a roommate where your roommate is charging you $185, $210 a month, $205 a month. And then that's like what, $2,000 for the whole year of rent. Some of y'all are paying $2,000 a month in rent when you could just go to fucking Vietnam or the Philippines and pay $120, $185 a month for a roommate, or like $700, $600 a month for a nice apartment. So just save 10K and give yourself a 1 year, 2 year break of not working. You'd be really surprised. And hell, apply for a shit ton of fucking credit cards and just have at it and then figure it out later. That's it. The only expensive thing is the flight. Like the live, please. I appreciate that there's over 700 people in here watching this. I appreciate it. All y'all are in here showing mad love. I greatly appreciate y'all. Thank you again. Nicki just goes where the money is. Your husband's a theological scholar. You know about all that. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Anyway, let's see. Are you Airbnb hopping still? Yes. I don't believe in voodoo, but I believe in karma. And yes, the Bible is whitewashed in a way to control people. Africa had all those religions and managed to fail themselves anyways. The crazy thing is, as soon as I started the process of deleting my social media, I really started seeing videos about how to sell your soul to the devil. Creepy as fuck. Yes, like the live, please. Thank you, Lady Blue AMV. Blue Am, I appreciate you. I'm guessing Am is short for Amber. Yes, please like the live. Religion is important to humans because we are the only planet with life on it. The universe is unimaginably large. I agree. Someone said, I went to Guatemala and the Mayans over there do witchcraft and dark magic. That's interesting you said that. So in Guatemala, sometimes you can go to little flea markets. You can go to little stores or like little parks and there's like vendors and shit and they give you spiritual cleansing. They'll get like sacred herbs. They'll like wrap it in like leaves and they'll like slap your body with it to like wipe off any bad energy. if you go to Guatemala, they have like little parks and shit where they'll get like an egg and they'll do an egg spell. So an egg spell, for those who don't know what an egg spell is, where if someone gets an egg and they rub it all over your body, in your hair, on your arms, from your head to your knees to your toes, and then they chant something over it in some cases. After that, they crack the egg in a cup. And if the egg comes out normal, then there was no heavy root work being done on you. If the egg is all webby and crazy looking and all like stretched out and looking all sloppy and looks funny, that's a sign that there was some root work on you, and the ladies of Guatemala can like have it lifted or removed off of you. Like if somebody's trying to like chant negativity your way or hoping things fall apart and fail for you. Yeah, that's a common thing in Guatemala. Yes, Beyonce's it's Oshun. However, her making the song Lemonade was horrible because you never gave Oshun bitter fruit. She takes pumpkins and oranges. Yes, she's known to take oranges, and she's known to take I don't know about pumpkins, but oranges are a normal thing. Oranges and sunflowers are what Oshun loves. Is there any symbolism with earthquakes and wildfires that they have out there in Haiti? Honestly, I have no fucking idea. Haiti is located in a very geographically fucked up part of the Caribbean where they literally get almost every fucking wild storm. Let me see. So someone said, sorry if I skipped your comment. I don't mean to. It's just I was talking so much that I missed a lot of stuff. Somebody said mental health is real. Y'all people need to be careful about spirits. Yes, you got to be careful. A lot of these religions are closed religions. You can't just jump into these things and just start practicing them. These are closed for a reason. And they're closed. These religions are closed. And these beliefs and spiritual systems are closed because it's meant to keep people out who are dangerous and are going to try to like ruin shit and cause trouble. These are closed. From people who like to do social experiments and fuck around and play around and be idiots, these religions aren't open to the public. Sorry, y'all. My fucking neighbors are loud as fuck. Because the soccer game is on and I'm here in Brazil and they're obsessed with that shit. They treat soccer like it's religion. I think people who are schizophrenic are spiritually gifted without discernment or a strong sense of self. I agree. I've always felt like they had like some weird spiritual gift. Like, what if they're actually hearing shit? Your job picks all over the city. That's amazing. You're very blessed, Sue One Kunai. You said Nicki was just hateful. Not time coming. Watching my grands. Someone said, as I'm watching the playback and the everybody shut the fuck up intro is sending me. I'm sorry, my bad. Because I was only 7 minutes late and people get really upset when I'm late. I traveled through cruiser tours. I'll read a few more comments and then I might hop off on here unless you guys got more comments. First of all, 700 people are in this bitch. Can y'all like the live, please? I'm fucking impressed. Let me know what topics you guys also want to see because sometimes I don't even know what topics that I want to cover. And then a lot of y'all be just giving me stuff. Oh my God. Wait, what? Somebody said we pay $3,100 a month for rent. You probably got a bunch of kids in a big old house or something. But yeah, that sounds about right. Thank you, Troy, so much for sharing your personal choice. I hate that you had to go through that as a kid. Yeah, it is fucked up sometimes, but it definitely plays a role on why I keep my distance from relatives. If you were to speak to my relatives, what's really unfortunate is many of them would oftentimes say that I'm just sensitive and I'm just making stuff up and you're just lying and, oh, he's just exaggerating and okay, yeah, we're all messed up. They would never deny a dysfunctional upbringing ever. They would never deny that. But they would deny some of the stories that I tell and be like, okay, and like, that's how a lot of them would look at it. It'd be gaslighting and just, I don't remember. It's never a. Some of them would like limit it to I'm just exaggerating. That's what they would say. I'm exaggerating. I'm just making stuff up. Or 90, but that's only like 10% of the times. 9% of the times it's I don't remember that, or I don't remember. That's the line that I hear all the time. That's why when I tell people things that I remember, I don't expect them to validate it. I just say, yes, I remember you did that, bitch. And you should do the same thing. So that people don't hit you with that, yeah, I remember that. Remember that? Because then they can hit you with the, no, I don't. And then they can reverse Uno card you. If you know what happened, don't look for their validation on if they remembered or not. How do you get such clear skin? I drink water. I sleep on a silk pillowcase, genetics, and CeraVe lotion or Lubriderm lotion. But honestly, I just stay away from harsh chemicals. Realistically, it's mostly just you keep it simple, keep it plain and simple. And a silk pillowcase really does help. That's the best thing I can recommend. Sleeping on silk is amazing for your skin. You know how sometimes you wake up and your skin be having like lines all over it and like marks and shit on your arms? Get a silk pillowcase. A lot of that goes away. Some of us are sleeping on cheap ass fucking pillowcases. I wouldn't be surprised if Nicki's grifting. There's also a crosswalk spell when you crack an egg at a crossroad. Yeah, Azalea Banks talked about that. Watch my video about witchcraft. You'll see I talked about the egg spell and Azalea Banks. I'm doing the whole like crossroads thing. Do you believe the conspiracies about the Bermuda Triangle? Oh, I'm conflicted. That's another video for another day, though. Storm always targets the Caribbean population the hardest. Sadly, yes. Lemonade wasn't about Oshun. It was symbolic of her trying to make the best of her worst situation. Making Lemonade an album out of lemons. Jay-Z cheating. Remember that lady that went to Haiti trying to initiate into a coven and died? I absolutely did remember that shit. All right, y'all. I'm definitely gonna get the fuck off of here in a few minutes. I'm gonna read some of you guys' comments and keep it moving. I like Nicki, but she looked high in the interview. Her blinking looks slow. Yeah, low key. Let me see. I feel like I missed some super chats. So I definitely want to go back up. My grandma's brother is openly Freemason. I'm African, by the way. Damn, that's some deep shit. But no one really knows about what the Freemasons actually do. It's more of like a close initiation group, close brotherhood. Yes, like the live, please. Someone says, I don't know. God says you can't serve two masters. Good perspective. Someone said people's minds can play tricks on them sometimes, referring to when I told the story about my upbringing and the relatives. When my mother visits her people in the South, she would go to her grandmother's house and they'd be seeing her doing voodoo things. Yeah, a lot of you never know who's into that kind of stuff. You may think that a lot of them aren't, but you really never know. It could be the mailman, it could be the milkman, it could really be anybody. Like you just never know. Like it could be the person that's serving your drinks. Sometimes you got to be careful who the fuck you're nasty to because you really never know like who's into certain things and who might try to unleash things onto you. These drugs will mess up your head. I really hope Nicki stopped doing them. 100% cotton are really good alternatives. Yeah, cotton and linen are also good alternatives if you don't want to use a silk pillowcase. Anyways, like the live. How many likes do I have? Because I gotta bounce and get the hell up out of here. I covered so many interesting subjects and topics that I know a lot of you guys probably are gonna enjoy. For those of you who are watching the playback, thank you so much. If you want me to do more lives, do me a favor, y'all. Comment on this. When this goes up and goes live, comment, do more lives. And a lot of y'all who are like, damn, I just got here. Watch the playback. I was on here for like over an hour, literally. Oh yeah, don't bump elbows with people in Louisiana. Destiny swapping. 449. Oh my god, can we get fucking 500? Can we get 500? Can we get 500, 500, 500? Or 450 is fine. I'm fine with that too. Someone said you fake choice. Get the lives to 1K, y'all. Literally just comment, do more lives on my next fucking stream. Leave a like because if you leave a like, it pushes it through the algorithm since YouTube be on some stupid-ish. Yeah. Anyways, 500. Yes, can we do that? How many likes do we have now? 454. Bye. See your choice. 500, 500, 500, 500. Gotta go. Come on. Cheers. Y'all be safe. Y'all have a good one. I gotta get the fuck up out of here. Be safe. Y'all take care. Have a good one. Be safe. All that 9-yard shit. You be good. I don't know. Yeah, I gotta go. I literally am in a rush. Gotta go. See ya. Toodles. Cheers. Bye.